Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is actually the first in a series of what will be 3 total videos. It's made up from some bottle caps and other bizarre little findings because if you're anything like me and you do terrain work and scatter work for Dungeons & Dragons or other RPG games, nothing in the real world ever quite looks the same. We kind of grab items and kind of stash them away, myself especially. So these fountains are actually made up mostly from various jar lids and bottle caps. And I'm very excited to share this with you. So the first part of this series, it's going to be how to assemble the fountains. The second will be in terms of painting them, and the final will be adding the water details. So I figured breaking it up into 3 parts will make it easier for those who know how to do the painting or the water effects themselves. They don't have to write that part. But for everyone who wants a sort of step-by-step process, just make sure you watch all 3. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for support, and enjoy. Any questions? Down below, and I'll answer them for you.
The first fountain in this series I call the Towne fountain. It's great for a more established town, and when you get it painted and detailed, you'll end up with something that looks like that. Next up is the villa fountain, which, yes, I can see in a villa, but I can also see in the type of setting where it might be a more affluent town. Paint it up, there you go. And finally, we have the Piazza fountain. It's definitely larger, a little bit more impressive, and we great in a huge cityscape type of square center area. And there it is all finished up. First, I'm going to start with the Towne fountain. The 2 finding items are the Dollar Tree purse tassel, which came in gold and silver. These I found completely by utter luck in the cashier area of my particular Dollar Tree. You may have to go hunting for some at yours as well. The second thing were these pineapple skewers, party skewers, that I found, and so I just nipped off the pineapple for that, and that's what I'm using as part of my fountain topper. The rest, as you can see from the description, are really just jars and lids from things we've been using around the house. So first thing you want to do is get your peanut butter and your Dasani cap lids to one section, just so you know that's your first level, and then you have your bolt house and your great value cap for your second level. And then what you're going to want to make sure you do with the bolt house cap, because it's a little bit deeper, is you're going to glue that great value cap inside, and you're going to have these pieces of foam cut out from just foam board to fit inside each of your lids. So with the PB2 lid, you're going to insert its circle of foam, no problem. With the bolt house, again, you want to be sure that you first put in the great value cap and then put the foam on top of that one, just to kind of give it a little bit more lift to the center, because these are a little bit more deep for some reason. But you may find you may not need it depending on the caps you have. The next thing you move on to is your first level, where you take the Dasani cap, place that in the center after you put some hot glue around the edge, and that's going to act as your first tier level. Then for the sculpture part, I took off the tassels as well as the loop and chain on that tassel that I found from Dollar Tree. Be careful doing this though, because there can be some sharp pieces, so you're going to want to file those down a little bit to make it smoother. And the thing I did was took the toothpaste tube cap, turn it upside down so that the shallower well is at the top. You're going to put some hot glue in there, then put the tassel finding into that. You do want to hold this in place for a little bit, simply because it will wobble since it's a little top heavy from having that end of the tassel still inside of it. And the reason why I kept that tassel in is because that acted as a support for the pineapple when it came time to glue it. And once it gets painted up and sealed up, you really don't notice it as much. It kind of blends into it. Then to just put it together, you have first level, your second level, hot glued to that, and then your sculpture feature, hot glued onto that. If you don't have anything finding wise, just flip your toothpaste cap over, glue that to the second level, and that's going to act as the top of your fountain. Let's move on to the villa fountain. This one was something that, again, was made from mostly caps. But I also found some things at the Dollar Tree that worked as well as some findings that I had tucked away in my little drawer of, good stuff. To get started with this, you're going to want a large lid. The one that I used was from bath salts, but actually it's about the size of a peanut butter jar lid, as I discovered later. Then you want to make sure, this one's specific, you have a Tropicana orange juice cap. There is a reason for this, which I'm going to show you in the next picture. I also had 6 small conch shells, and you can find bags of these at your craft store. And then at Dollar Tree, I also picked up some of those little golden trophies that they have in their like bitty bag prize section. And I found these little plastic flowers with trumpet-like tops to them. Those worked really well. But this is why the Tropicana cap is important. there is architecture on that sucker. And this is what really created any impact for this villa fountain. So you do want Tropicana, so go out and buy the orange juice. To put it together, you take the Tropicana cap and put it onto the 3.5-inch lid, and then you're going to nip off the top parts of the handles to the trophy and put that reverted upside down onto the Tropicana cap. And that's going to give you your look for the basic fountain. And then you can add on your little accessories of the shells and the trumpet blossoms and the pineapple. If you can't find any of those things, you can just go ahead and finish painting up that fountain as is. And the water will basically source from the bottom, which is now the top of the trophy. That's where I would put your water details. And here's the Piazza fountain. And this one, again, it was just some simple things that I had along with my findings. And it has a little bit of a bigger measurement because of the lid. And this is, again, one of those lids you are going to need to purchase the product if you want that exact look. And in this case, it is the all free and clear detergent tabs lid. Now, their detergent tabs do all have this style lid, so you can buy it in the just regular all form if you want to. What's important is getting that twist top lid. That's the important thing, because that's when you flip it upside down is what gives you the great base for that fountain. Then again, another pineapple, another plastic flower, the seashells, and again, another Dollar Tree trophy. And the assembly is very similar to that of the Villa fountain. So you want to get the handles to the trophy nipped off first and get it so you can turn it upside down and have it flush on top of the laundry detergent lid. And then just take those shells, and I hot glued them onto where those little curved protrusions come out on the underside, which really are the finger grips when you have it right side up. Then you can add on your other findings, or again, if you don't have findings like this, you'll just treat the top of your fountain as the base of where the fountain is. That's where you can put in your water feature to have it trail down and over into the fountain. So these are basically your assemblies to get things going. However, the Piazza and the Villa have an extra step. And this is just cutting a strip of styrofoam board. And what you want to do is give it the cobblestone detail after you cut it out to measure the circumference of your lid with an extra ½ inch thrown in there for an overlap. Bevel your edges. You want to get a miter cut on the ends so that they can kind of mesh nicely, more smoothly over each other if you want. And then you're going to hot glue those, or the strip I should say, around the outer part of your jar lids. And I do have a picture set up so you can see what it looks like once attached onto the fountain. And this was one of those things where I painted up the Villa fountain, and looking at it I realized it needed a little bit more heft to it, which is why the foam in this picture is white while the rest of it is black. But let me tell you, it was worth changing after the fact, so definitely try and add that in. It gives it a really great impact in the end. So this is the first of the series. I hope it's given you some great ideas to get you started with findings of your own to create some fountains. If it's small and interesting looking, you never know what you can end up with. Thanks for watching.
That's Beethoven.